This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
So the party that whines and cries and snivels about cancel culture, the same party that puts on political action conferences entitled Uncanceled. They just canceled their number 3 member in the House of Representatives, Liz Cheney. The Republican Party, look, this is going to seem like some kind of a weird defense of Liz Cheney, and that's not what this is. Liz Cheney is terrible. Liz Cheney is a bigot against the LGBTQ, her sister being gay. She's terrible. She represents what the Republican Party is. And it's inexplicable to me that she's taken a stand here against Donald Trump when she is Dick Cheney's daughter. I mean, that really sums it up. So this isn't a defense of Liz Cheney. This is not a defense of the Republican Party. But it tells you where we are as a country in our two-party system and where the Republican Party is. That they are choosing Donald Trump, traitor to his country, violator of the Constitution, over Liz Cheney, someone who's dedicated her life, certainly decades of her life, to the party. They're choosing a man who incited an insurrection against the government of the United States of America. They're choosing him over Liz Cheney. So last night, anyway, let's talk a little very quickly. They just had a secret vote, spitting on myself. They just had a secret vote because they're too cowardly to have the numbers show and to put it on the record who voted which way. Cowards. Just quivering simps. She's out. They're going to name someone to replace her, likely Stefanik. But yesterday night, Liz Cheney took to the floor of the House of Representatives and gave like a 6-minute talk about to preempt this moment that she knew was coming, which was likely an overwhelming vote to get rid of her. Anyway, I'm going to play a little bit from her speech, less than half of it, and then we're going to play a moment right after the vote that just took place of her talking about the result of the vote. Anyway, these are some decent words from Liz Cheney. If it wasn't high-minded talk, it would be better. If she actually lived by the principles that you're getting ready to hear her talk about, that would be great. Here's that moment from last night.
Today, we face a threat America has never seen before. A former president who provoked a violent attack on this Capitol in an effort to steal the election has resumed his aggressive effort to convince Americans that the election was stolen from him. He risks inciting further violence. Millions of Americans have been misled by the former president. They have heard only his words, but not the truth, as he continues to undermine our democratic process, sowing seeds of doubt about whether democracy really works at all. I am a conservative Republican, and the most conservative of conservative principles is reverence for the rule of law. The Electoral College has voted. More than 60 state and federal courts, including multiple judges the former president appointed, have rejected his claims. The Trump Department of Justice investigated the former president's claims of widespread fraud and found no evidence to support them. The election is over. That is the rule of law. That is our constitutional process. Those who refuse to accept the rulings of our courts are at war with the Constitution. Our duty is clear. Every one of us who has sworn the oath must act to prevent the unraveling of our democracy. This is not about policy. This is not about partisanship. This is about our duty as Americans. Remaining silent and ignoring the lie emboldens the liar. I will not participate in that. I will not sit back and watch in silence while others lead our party down a path that abandons the rule of law and joins the former president's crusade to undermine our democracy. As the party of Reagan, Republicans have championed democracy, won the Cold War, and defeated the Soviet communists. Today, America is on the cusp of another Cold War, this time with communist China. Attacks against our democratic process and the rule of law empower our adversaries and feed communist propaganda that American democracy is a failure. We must speak the truth. Our election was not stolen, and America has not failed.
About this, good for her. Just about this, though. The Republican Party is no longer the party of Reagan. The Republican Party is the party of Donald Trump. The Republican Party is the party of Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert. That's the Republican Party of today. They traded party stalwarts like Liz Cheney for these other dingbats I just talked about. Donald Trump chief among them. Donald Trump, who wasn't a Republican until he ran for president. Donald Trump, who has no core values other than the supremacy of himself and white people. There is no core sense of duty or honor in Donald Trump, or these other idiots, for that matter, who know nothing about the Constitution that they themselves took an oath to swear to defend and protect. The Republican Party did this, according to Kevin McCarthy, in an effort to unify. For unity's sake, we need to be unified around a message. And they're unifying around a lie, around a conspiracy theory. They're unifying around a liar and a spreader of false information about the election being rigged, that he won. According to him, in a landslide, he won. Court after court, like 60 different court cases have been rejected out of hand. Even by Trump-appointed judges like Liz Cheney said. That matters not to idiots in the Republican Party. Listen, if you're out there and you're a Republican and you've made it this far into this video, there's time to turn back. You don't have to move forward with a party that has no regard for our founding documents, for the principles of democracy and self-governance, self-rule. You don't necessarily have to become Democrats. You could become an independent. But to remain a Republican is an endorsement of anti-democracy. It is an endorsement of white supremacy. It is an endorsement of hypocrisy. Love to know what you think, especially if you're a Republican out there who's considering leaving. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I would love to hear from you. I appreciate every moment that you spend with me, my content. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the videos. All of that goes a long way toward convincing YouTube to show my content to new people. Follow me on social media. I'd love to connect with you there. The other thing is, I would encourage you to consider supporting my work, consider producing my work here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. For fewer than $2 a month, you can click the join button, see what's involved, and help support independent commentary and analysis on these types of matters. Anyway, if this isn't enough for you, you'd like more, you could check out my podcast. It's called I Doubt It. It's on iTunes and Spotify and Google Podcast, everywhere that podcasts are. You can also just go to dollemore.com and listen and subscribe right there. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine and take care of one another.